Here's two ways you can be far more effective when calling your Republican senators and rep about what is happening in the US. Please like, comment, and reshare and help me get this out to the algorithm, especially share it with friends and family who are in red states. So I went to a meeting this morning where folks were like, okay, how do we leverage Republican senators and congressmen? Because maybe all my reps are blue and they're already on board with fighting the fascist takeover, with fighting the coup that Elon Musk is carrying out. And other folks were like, is it worth calling a senator that is in another state? Is it okay for me to do that? Is that an effective use of my time? And other folks were saying, what do I tell my friends and family who live in red states when they're saying oh, it's not worth calling my rep because they're already MAGA? Or they don't have the spine to stand up to what Trump is doing, at least not yet. So first off, you need to call your own rep in your own state. They represent you. They listen to the voice of their constituents. That's why they take your zip code when you call in. So don't waste your energy calling somebody else's rep or senator. Instead, spend your energy reaching out to folks who live in those red districts and helping them with the messaging so that they can call their electives and be persuasive. So I appreciate the passion from folks who are wanting to call their Republican reps and say, you need to care about abortion, you need to care about trans rights. They don't give a shit about those things. They do not care about those things. They are happy with those parts of Project 2025 being implemented. We have to be strategic here, and we have to speak to the pressure points that will actually get our red reps to move. I've seen so many folks on TikTok who are saying, I called my red senator and his aide argued with me. They don't care about these things that I care about. All of the humanitarian aid being cut, they think that's a good thing. They think that's cutting waste. They definitely don't care about gay marriage. They want to restrict women's access to reproductive health care. Whatever the progressive issue is that you care about, I guarantee your red representative gives zero fucks about it and is probably happy to see those rights get obliterated. So what do you talk about when you call in? There are two things. The first one is the economy. The economy, the economy, the economy. Call them up and say, hey, Senator, my name is so-and-so. Do not tell them that you did not vote for them. They don't need to know that. You just say, I am your constituent and my zip code is. If you're a homeowner or a business owner, say that when you introduce yourself. And then say, I am concerned about the impact that this administration is already having on the economy of my state. I'm really worried about my retirement. I'm seeing my 401k tank because of what Trump is doing. Take a moment and look up what kinds of aid was coming to your state, what kinds of grants, what kind of funding has now been cut off. You live in the Midwest, oh gosh, Senator, I'm not really a big fan of DEI either. But what I realized is that the E in DEI was equity for our small family farms. It was grants and funding and access for small family farms so they could compete with big ag. And now I'm worried about my neighbors losing their farms. I'm worried about the economic impact for our state when we see small family farms no longer able to compete, no longer have access to the grants and funding that they need to be competitive. What program in your state is being cut that directly impacts the economy and businesses there? What negative economic impacts is this administration having in your state? And tell your senator about it. Tell him how you are concerned that this administration, they're like, oh, maybe I thought they were going to help America, but I realize now I am seeing the negative impacts to the economy, and I think it's just going to get worse here in our state. Put on that persona and say, gosh, maybe I wasn't so opposed to this deportation plan, but now, my uncle who lives outside of Orlando, he can't find anybody to pick his citrus crop and it is rotting on the trees. That's really going to hurt our state here in Florida. Gosh, I was going to put an addition on my house this year, but I can't even find contractors. And not only that, the cost of supplies and labor have already gone through the roof such that my bid that I just got is now outdated. Gosh, I'm not going to be able to put that money into the economy that I was planning on because not only can I not find the workers and things have gotten more expensive, but I'm just so unsure about what the economy is doing and it doesn't seem like it's going in a good direction. So gosh, Senator, I'm not going to be able to put money into the economy like I thought it was. I was really excited about the ways that I could improve my life, my business, spend in my community, support local business in my state. I'm just going to have to pump the brakes on that right now because I'm really worried about the economy. That's where you hit them. Talk about those issues. Don't talk about the social issues because they don't give a shit about them. Your leverage point is the economy because we all know that what Trump is doing is destroying the economy. We all know the illegal things that Musk is doing in the federal government is cutting off funding that goes to every state in the country and has huge economic beneficial impacts in every state. And so losing that money is devastating for all kinds of communities, for all kinds of businesses, all kinds of small family-owned businesses. One issue per phone call. You call your electeds, you talk about the economy, your concerns about the things that Trump is doing are not good for the economy, and you give concrete examples if you are possibly able to. Then you're going to call back later in the day or the next day, and you're going to raise a second critical issue. And I'm going to talk about that in the next video, so come back. I want to help you communicate more effectively with your Republican senators and representative about what is happening in the United States. How can you, as their constituent, better leverage them? And if you don't have red electeds, I would like you to share this video with your family members, with your friends who live in red states and have red senators and reps. Please like and share and help me get this out to the algorithm. You can go back and watch part 1 where I talk about how you need to make a phone call and you need to talk about the economy, the negative economic impacts that are happening in your state. Your red reps do not care about your position on the social issues. They do not care. They are happy that those social changes, the taking away of those rights is happening under Project 2025. That is not how you leverage them. How you leverage them is you talk about the economy. You talk about how you are worried that Trump is tanking the economy, that what Musk is doing is hurting the economy. If possible, talk about specific businesses in your state that are going to be negatively impacted, and also talk about the ways that you are no longer feeling comfortable or able to put money into the economy, specifically because you think Trump is doing such a bad job. And we're only raising one issue per phone call, and we don't need to tell them who we voted for. We just want to say, I am your constituent, here's my zip code, and then talk about your concern. So first phone call, the economy. Cool, call back later in the day or call back the next day, and we're going to talk about the second issue. And the second issue I want you to raise is the power of Congress. Specifically, how you are concerned that Elon Musk is usurping the authority of your senators and congressmen. So here's how that phone call might go. You're not going to reach the senator, but you can reach one of his aides. You'll say, hello, senator's aide. My name is Angela. My zip code is blah, blah, blah. I am a homeowner and small business owner. And I am calling because I have some concerns and I know I can trust your office to listen. I've been hearing about the things that Elon Musk is doing in the federal government, and I'm just really concerned that he is usurping the power that the Constitution has given to Congress, has given to you, my senator. Elon Musk is an unelected South African who does not have the constitutional authority to be doing what he's doing. He's not elected to represent the people of the United States or of my state. You are. The Constitution gives the power to Congress to allocate funds. So why is it that an unelected tech bro with no security clearance is coming in and undoing the work of Congress? I am really worried that he is trying to take your power away from you, that he is seizing your power and trying to make you irrelevant. I really trust my senators and my congressmen to get the job done for this state, to look out for the rights of this state. I look to you, Senator, to make sure that programs, improvements, infrastructure get supported in our state and that you are making sure our economy here is strong. So you can see why I'm so worried that it looks like Congress is handing over, or Elon Musk is stealing the authority that is designated to you in the Constitution. Are you not worried about this as well? For me here back in our state, it looks like he's running roughshod over Congress, taking away your power, and y'all aren't doing anything to stop him. This isn't about President Trump and his executive orders. What I'm really worried about is how somebody who isn't even from here, a foreigner who's not part of the government, is not elected by the people, is taking over so much control from so many things that are really your purview, that are really the job of Congress. Are you worried about that, Senator? And what can you do to stop him from taking your job away from you? What can you do to protect the power of Congress? As your constituent, I'm really, really concerned about this issue. And then you're always polite and you thank them for taking your call. Don't argue with them, because we know they think they have all of the power. They think they have won. They think they don't have to be nice to people who are not MAGA. They don't have to listen to you. But the reality is that they do. And you don't have to tell them what your politics are. You just have to tell them that you're a constituent. Do not bother wasting your time. If you don't live in a red state, call your elected. Don't call somebody else's elected. Make sure that they get your zip code, that they are your elected official, your senators, your representative. And you push them on the economy, and you push them about how Elon Musk is taking away the constitutional powers that are given to Congress. and you are really concerned, you want your senators and you want your rep to retain their power and to advocate for and to govern the American people. You did not vote for and you do not want a foreigner who has no government experience, no security clearance, has no right to be taking charge, to be seizing control of the federal government and to take away the power of Congress. And to you, it looks like that's what's happening. This is how we leverage. This is how we push them, because we know Republicans in Congress, other than a very small minority of loyalists like Marjorie Taylor Greene, even she can be pushed enough if the will of the people is no longer appearing to be with Donald Trump, and especially if the will of the people is opposed to Elon Musk, whose approval rankings are in the toilet. You're going to see folks in Congress start to flip. I was talking with someone this morning who has connections in Congress and was saying that there are Republican senators on the horn with the White House already concerned. Like, we're hearing from our constituents and it's not good. We're getting pressured by them. We are getting pushed by them. But they're going to actively discard and ignore the pressure that is about these social issues. We have to hit them where it hurts. We have to know how to leverage them. You have to think like a Republican. You have to talk to them like you're a Republican. And like what matters to you most is the economy. You're really worried about a foreigner taking away power from Congress. You can butter them up a little bit in the process and be like, I trust you, my senator. I trust you to represent us. And I'm worried. I'm worried that Elon Musk is trying to take your job away from you and make you irrelevant. This feels really scary to me. I want you to be able to do your job and to represent our state. I didn't vote for Elon Musk. And it looks to me like he is mangling the federal government and trying to steal power away from Congress in the process. So one issue per call. If you have blue reps, send this video, send the previous video to your friends and family who live in red states. Tell them it's not too late to call. They can reach their Republican elected officials, that you just have to know how to talk to them. I know that things seem really bleak, but we do still have power. We are hundreds of millions of people, and we have a significant amount of power. The switchboard has been getting 1,600 calls a minute of folks who are calling in wanting to talk to their electeds because they are so concerned about what Musk is doing. So we need to keep that pressure on. We need to be encouraging our blue reps and say, great, you're doing a great job. Push harder. Push your fellow senators and Congress people. Push them harder. Go talk to the red folks and say, like, are y'all concerned about the economy? Are y'all concerned about our loss of power? But if you have red electeds, you need to be calling them once a day. You need to be polite. You need to be clear. You need to call on those two issues: economy, Elon Musk stealing the power of Congress. Calls are more effective than emails. If you get a voicemail, you can ask them to call you back. In fact, no matter what, if you're calling a red state, ask them to call you back. You have a right to ask that someone from your senator or representative's office call you back as a constituent. So leave your phone number, leave your full address if you want. Ask that they take the time to reach out to you, a constituent, about these two concerns. The more you can gum up what that office has to do, the more list of tasks you can give your Republican senator's office, the better. But be courteous. You are not appearing combative. You are appearing concerned. You're not arguing with them. You are wanting to act like their ally. You are both allied in your desire to have a robust economy in your state. You're both allied over the fact that you think Elon Musk is taking away the power of Congress. You are both allied in the fact that you think your senator deserves his power. He's been elected by the people. He deserves to be able to exercise that power and that authority and do the job that he wants to do and not have it stolen from him by somebody who is not an elected official, use their words, by somebody who's a foreigner. All the courts are working and they are smacking down Musk and Trump over and over and over again. We need to be calling. It takes 5 minutes a day. If it's busy the first time you call back again later. The other day, it took me 3 hours of calling to get through. Put the congressional switchboard in your phone, have it saved to your phone, and just pull it up and call it until you get through. Leave your messages every day. If you get the same aide you talked to the day before, be like, gosh, I just heard this new piece of news. I'm even more worried. I heard that my neighbor is now going to have to sell his farm because he lost money from USAID. Gosh, I heard that my neighbor who runs a food cart, the cost of their eggs have now quadrupled and they can't even get enough eggs to run their breakfast food cart and they're losing business. Gosh, I heard that Head Start being frozen in our state means that folks are having to call out of work because they have no childcare. Every day, take 5 minutes, make 1 or 2 phone calls to each of your senators and your rep. Be savvy, be strategic. These small actions that you carry out, they add up. 1,600 phone calls a minute.